International pro-human rights group, the Global Rights, has called on Nigeria's current government to avoid mistakes made by the previous administration in relation to the protection of civic and human rights of citizens. This follows the presentation of a report appraising government's performance between 2015 and 2023 in relation to protection of the nation's civic space and the rights of Nigerians. Amadin tells us more.
With Nigeria's new government already spending 7 months in governance, efforts are already being made to appraise its performance along several fronts. While comparisons are still being made with the previous administration in a bid to improve governance along all levels, International human rights organization the Global Rights says it has concluded a report which analyzed the performance of the last administration as it related to the protection of the nation's civic space and human rights of citizens.
In the report, we tried to consider the effect the Buhari administration had on the civic space. We considered the effect on the freedom of speech, um, freedom of expression, and other aspects that make for the civic space in general.
If we look at the report findings, you will see how civic space experienced a constant decline under the past administration. You will see reports of how it was like a war was declared on the freedom to assemble and all other civic freedoms.
The Global Rights says that the report appraised efforts of government between 2015 and 2023 and believes the administration performed poorly.
While the Buhari administration can be applauded for some novel developments, we found out that he still had attributes of his military regime in his civilian administration. For example, we found out that there were repeated attempts using legislation to curb and cause infractions in the civic space. Some of these laws were the social media bill, the hate speech bill, things around the National Media Act, and the rest. Some of these were instrumental or had this posture where the civic space was likely to be affected and people's freedom of speech and movement also restricted.
It adds that there is much the current administration can learn from the mistakes of the past government so that they can effectively protect the rights of citizens and shun actions detrimental to the protection of civic rights and freedoms.
We are hoping that by the time this report is presented and everyone sees how the past administration fared when it comes to issues of civic freedom, the present administration should be able to draw lessons and see some of the gaps and see some of the mistakes that were made by the previous administration and be able to draw lessons and improve on how they engage the citizens and improve on how they protect civic freedoms in the country.
Most of the attributes, most of the assaults on journalists and the free press is due to the fact that respect for the rule of law is not being considered the way it should be, or probably there is this lack of adherence to what the rule of law stipulates, and that is a problem. That is a problem where impunity carried out by security forces, government officials, disregard for court orders should not be a thing anymore, because we create a history, or he would create a history where people feel they can do anything. So I feel part of Tinubu's legacy should be correcting this ill.
The report, which is expected to be unveiled in January, appraises government's adherence to court orders, respect to the rule of law, respect for citizens' rights, freedom of citizens to engage on social media, amongst others. From Abuja, Amadin reporting for News Central.